Anime has gained great popularity in recent times. Anime is nothing but hand-drawn and computer-generated animation arising from Japan. Outside of Japan and in English, anime refers to Japanese animation and refers precisely to animation created in Japan. However, in Japan, anime, which is a word derived from a shortening of the English word animation, defines all animated works, nonetheless of style or origin. Animation developed outside of Japan with an identical style to Japanese animation is naturally pertained to as anime-influenced animation. It is so popular among teens that they not only watch anime but also play games. Are you an anime fan? If so, you've come to the right place. In this video, we will provide the latest interesting anime games of this year. Without further ado, let's get started. Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact is a free-to-play RPG like nearly nothing else we've watched. It's got polish, a strong main tale, a stunning and activity-packed free world, co-op, cross-play, a somewhat inconspicuous paywall, and it's an anime game. It's been cited as the anime Breath of the Wild, and while that comparison doesn't say the whole story, it does give you a flavor of how crucial the open world is in this game. As soon as you're set to open from the tutorial, you'll lose numerous hours as the open world drags in every way. With centers of foe to break out for chests, puzzles to solve utilizing environmental proficiency, and aids to craft and cook with. Unlike Breath of the Wild, you can investigate the gorgeous world of Teyvat with up to 3 other friends too, appreciation of crossplay and co-op support. A team of twins who wander across different worlds arrive in Teyvat, but try to leave after discovering the nation of Karia under convulsive siege. However, they are segregated by a god who takes one twin and shuts the other away. The sealed twin, related to as the Traveler, wakes up 500 years later and meets Paimon, and the two embark on a voyage to locate the lost twin. Final Fantasy XIV. If you're searching to scamper around a lovingly crafted free planet as a doe-eyed anime protagonist, rummaging for Expedition Astride a Chocobo, in one of the vastly polished and unfailingly evolving MMOs of all period, look no farther than Final Fantasy XIV. The original Final Fantasy XIV was a dissatisfaction to say the tiniest, but since the remake, A Realm Reborn, was undertaken in 2013, the game has been acclaimed considerably for its endearing story, pictorial plea, and creative method of class leveling. Rather than wanting to make alternatives to undergo the several classes in the game, Final Fantasy XIV enables you to change your weapon at level 10 and start leveling a varied class, permitting you to colonize whatever role you understand while still playing as the same delightful character you've grown connected to. Typical updates as well as huge growths like Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker have maintained fans amused for years. The game has a lot extra to devote than the basic MMO leveling knowledge, from in-game nuptials processions, where you can vow your lasting affection to a fellow gamer, to near automata-themed content that accomplishes an incredible job of giving rise to the haunting environs of Square Enix's computerized RPG to Final Fantasy XIV. Battle Chef Brigade. Battle Chef Brigade is a gorgeously realized cookery game that incorporates 2D brawler warfare against numerous devils and a puzzler-based cook-off. You'll be required to hunt and assassinate your components before bringing them back to the kitchen to whip up a delicious meal. This anime fantasy exploration pits you against other competitors, where you'll ascend through a high-stakes competition, apprehending and readying your components in the guise of a committee of judges. As well as an anecdote mode, Battle Chef Brigade has regional multiplayer and numerous day-to-day challenges encompassing free-to-play and survival mode, so that you can investigate and broaden your recipe repertoire. Battle Chef Brigade teams light RPG progression, a substantial range of monsters and maps, a fascinating story, and gorgeous art method to ascertain an anime game to experiment with your cuisine chops. You start simmering by pouring ingredients into your cookware like Tetris. With the components in the 4x4 cooking zone, you can blend them around like in Puyo Puyo. When Mina aligns flavor gems and matches the same colors, the gems combine to boost their rank and the integrity of the dish. The better you match and rank up the gems, the increased quality of the dish is. After you've completed cooking and before the time threshold is up, you have to provide the dish to the judge. Maplestory. While Maplestory 2 is no longer accessible outside of Korea, the actual Maplestory is, however, getting on strong and is ready via Steam. This is a side-scrolling 2D MMORPG that allows you to build your custom character from 40 various classes and a near-limitless proportion of decorative items. It also boasts hundreds of hours of epic storylines, with a broad range of environments for you to attend across Maple World. 260 million participants from across the world can't possibly be unfair. So if this sounds like it might be your stuff, certainly give it a try. It's free after all. Players infer the positions of citizens in the Maple world with no particular purpose to gain a victory in the game but to work on enhancing their character's abilities and importance over time. The adversary of the game, the Black Mage, was sealed away years before by 6 fighters. Fearing his resurgence, Empress Cygnus persuaded the Maple world to meet her Cygnus Knights to deter his recovery. However, the Black Wings were able to refund the Black Mage to existence for a minute, resulting in a disaster known as the Big Bang. With the stamp on the Black Mage attrition, the 5 heroes retrieved to the planet in a weakened state. The player's character commences a journey to restore the Black Mage's stamp, but rather witnesses his resurrection. The Black Mage then starts incorporating Grandis with the Maple world to govern both worlds. Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. We've all crouched there helplessly as we see Making a Murderer or The People vs. O.J. Simpson shouting at our walls as we desire to watch righteousness done. As defendants and complainants likewise sweat in the port, we can barely watch on as a hotshot attorney discovers the slight crumb of significant information sheer mortals would lose. Information that can indicate the distinction between freedom and a lifetime in the dungeon. Now we have an anime game that allows us to be that celebrity in the courtroom in Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. As our Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy opinions contend, there's nobody quite like ransacking every inch of the lawsuit to collect proof and investigate that hard-earned understanding in a trial, a stadium of eyes all around you. The positive melodrama of apprentice lawyer Phoenix's big court showdowns plays out like a battle game, where your incisive assertions and screams of "take that" and "hold it" hit your adversary into a startled hush. Dragon Quest XI. In Dragon Quest XI, you dabble as a young man who realizes that he is the reincarnation of a mythical hero and sets apart on a voyage to unravel the paradoxes of his past. For both anime and video games, this is exquisite basic fare, but this narrative ordinance is the bedrock for Dragon Quest XI's tense turn-based debates and numerous side pursuits. Dragon Quest XI has preserved some tremendous skills throughout the years, such as beloved manga and anime artist Akira Toriyama, who is recognized for the Dr. Slump and Dragon Ball sequel. Toriyama has constructed the personalities since Dragon Quest's first delivery back in 1986, his sharp and colorful designs infusing the mysterious planet of these anime games with temperament and character for over 2 decades presently. They're gorgeous games, which is affirmed by some very high Dragon Quest XI survey scores. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. We could not assemble an anime list without speaking of Dragon Ball. Xenoverse 2 is one of the nicest anime games for PC and an incredible improvement to the outstanding sequel. If you are looking for an enterprising MMO-light designation with a true fan service-filled article that slots adequately into the DBZ canon, look no further than this starry anime game. Xenoverse 2 discerns drifting over comprehensive landscapes and adopting quests with additional players to build your strength. Sequel favorites grab you out of the sky to immerse you in frantic arena uprisings, compelling you to investigate with a wide spectrum of outstanding proficiency. Attack on Titan. The desirable sculpture attitude of Attack on Titan sits adequately alongside the decent anime games for PC. Enthusiasts of the manga and the TV concert will think straight at Residence here as they improve and whirl around burrows, forests, and the game's nominal titans. The hypothesis, of course, is decidedly less alluring at early times. Developers Omega Force shoves you into the shoes of Eren as he and his friends ditch battalions of huge but ludicrous, naked, humanoid monsters with a tendency for eating up human flesh. Titans, in other words. The anecdote in this anime game matches well with the traditional tenet as you get to slicing some titans' necks. Tales of Symphonia. Initially a GameCube title, this anime game graced the PC with its fascinating existence in 2016. If you forgot it, all you expect to know is that it is a tradition that could rate among the nicest RPGs on PC. Tales of Symphonia are put in the community of Sylvarant, hanging in the balance amidst an irresistible evil and steadily weakening mana. But mythology has it that a chosen one, in other words, will one day surge and send your land back from the verge. Danganronpa 2, Goodbye Despair. Most of us at some point have wanted to be one of those outstanding kids snatched from their familiar surroundings to accompany a distinguished school. Generally it's Hogwarts, admittedly, but Hajime Hinata, Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair's protagonist, realizes his fantasy to accompany Hope's Peak Academy, a prestigious college for ultimate students. It is at this juncture that this anime game renovates into something far darker. Your classroom melts out into what happens to be a tropical isle once you are acquainted with your educator Usami. Usami is also a rosy bunny. Yeah. With this, you have the best anime games of this year. If you wish to start anime games, this list might come in handy.